In this video, we're going to talk about Math 7 Lesson 1A, Exponents, and we are now going to focus on example number 2, evaluating powers by finding each value. Now, please notice there's a hint. It says write as repeated multiplication, also known as factored form, first. So make sure that you do this first. We are really going to emphasize that. You need to show the factored form first, which is what we see up here, before you do the work and find the final value. So 4 to the 4th. Now keep in mind, this is the base, and the little 4 up here, the exponent, is similar to how I was marking my paper here. So you actually need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put my highlighter here. Again, it's very helpful to use these hints and tricks in your notes, and that will just help you gain a better understanding and a good habit of setting your problems up this way. So 4 is the base. That's what I'm going to write on top of each of these. So again, I did 4 orange spaces here because of my exponent. So we have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So this is the factored form. Okay, so make sure you do this. I want to see this on your paper. Now, where it says show work, we're actually going to do the multiplication because we're not using the calculator. So 4 times 4, those two 4s, that would be 16, and now I need to do 16 times 4. And feel free in math to do your work off to the side. I just ask that you don't erase it, don't cross it off, and if you're using a scrap piece of paper, that you keep that paper with your worksheet or your notes, just so that we can see what you did. So 4 times 6 is 24, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now, if you're still writing any time during a video, please pause it or watch me do the work first and then pause it and you fill out your notes. So now we need to do one more times 4. I'm just going to finish it over here off to the side. 4 times 4 is 16. This is 24 again plus 1, which is 25. So the final answer right here is 256. But I want to see all 3 key parts: factored form, your work, and your final answer. So make sure that you complete all of those steps. All right, the next one, 3 squared. So the 2, the exponent, represents how many times I'm going to write that factor down. 3 is your base. So if we want to go through and highlight our base, I'll go back and mark this real quick. That's what you're going to put on top of the orange lines. So your base, I'm going to write 3 times 3. And there's not much work to show here, except for 3 times 3 I know is 9. So my final answer for 3 to the 2nd power is 9. All right, if you want to try 5 to the 3rd power and 2 to the 7th first by yourself, go ahead and pause the video right now. Try it yourself and then play it and see if we get the same answers. Otherwise, you can continue to follow along with me. All right, 5 to the 3rd. Again, the exponent tells us how many times to write that down. I do want you to do this factored form. So 5 times 5 times 5. Now we're going to show our work. If it helps you to highlight your base and to highlight it here, I find that using highlighters and setting up your work does help you as you're completing your math. So if that's helpful, go ahead and do that as well. 5 times 5 is 25 times another 5. Now if you have money, let's say you have 5 quarters in your pocket, some of you might know, oh, well, 4 quarters is $1 and then an extra 25 cents for the 5th one. So that is going to be 125. If you can't think of that, then you're just going to do your multiplication over here, and we get 125. So 5 to the 3rd power is 125. All right, let's do the last one. 2 to the 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I'm going to run out of space. 5, 6, 7. And then 2 is our base, so I'm going to write that 1, 2. All of these 2's will go here. I'm just making sure there were 7 of them. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Keep on going. So I have 2 to the 7th power. Now we have 2 times 2. So these first ones, that's 4. Now let's do times this 2. Now try to keep these lined up so you know where you're at. This is 8. Then I'm going to bring down this times 2. So these kind of line up a little bit. This is 16. Now I have another one times 2. This is 32. And then I have this one times 2 again. We get 64. And then we have our last one times 2. And 64 times 2, if you need to do that off to the side. 2 times 6 is 12. We get 128. So 2 to the 7th is 128. Now let's make sure we did all of these. So here's our first two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to make sure we got them all. All right, if you need to rewind or rewatch any part of this, feel free to do so. Otherwise, great job with evaluating powers.